and welcome to another edition of Witch Hat Chats, sponsored by the Ever Moving We Rise Temple, the Life and Soul Holistic Center, and Moonlight Potions and Charms. I am your fabulous host, Nikki Kirby, and today I am joined by one of my spectacular students. He is an amazing person. I'm glad to be able to present and welcome the absolute fabulous, the marvelous Salex. Hey, Salex, what's going on, hon?
Everything.
Everything. What do you mean by everything?
Everything. We are having our red tent that's coming up Saturday on Ever Moving We Rise. That's going to be the 12th at 8 o'clock Eastern. And our new moon ritual will be on Sunday, December 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern.
It is. All right. Tell us about the red tent.
The red tent is a place where lots of women and people who identify as women can come and speak together. It's a place for camaraderie, and we welcome everybody.
Awesome. We do have a lot of fun, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do have an absolute lot of fun. And our new moon ritual is the next day. So tell us more about that.
Our new moon ritual, it will be on Zoom. I will be there also. And we also welcome other people to come and see what's going on. It's good for new people. It's good for older people that are more practiced. And it's a good place where we can come together and we can have this ritual. And after the ritual, we all have more time together where we can speak to one another and get to know each other. It's a good way for other people to learn more about Ever Moving We Rise and what we mean and what we're here for.
Yep. And we're also looking for new members as well.
Yes, we are looking for new members.
Yes, we're looking for fresh blood.
Got to get all that together before Halloween.
Well, we got plenty of time, right?
Yes, we do. We start early.
See, the thing about us is we never stop Halloween, okay? We're always witches all year long, 365 days of the week, of the year. So,
That's right.
yep,
If
yep,
you don't practice, you aren't one.
that's true. We're not weekend or hobby ones.
That's true.
Oh lordy. So, with Moonlight Potions and Charms is still having a sale that's going on. You can obtain 17% off of all products with the coupon code birthday until December 17th. How does that sound, Salix?
I think that sounds awesome. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's really, really great. And plus we're in the season of your gifts. So if you don't want something for yourself, which you probably would want something for yourself, but if you don't want something for yourself, you always got somebody else.
That's true.
Yep.
Time for gifts.
And you want to make sure you get those orders in early because they're saying that this year with the virus that it's going to the mail people are going to be overwhelmed supposedly.
Mm,
I really don't think it's going to be that way. I mean, it's like that, every single year people are still going out anyway. So I'm not really too sure. But, just in case you want that thing to arrive before you want to make sure that you order soon.
definitely.
All right. So do you want to get to our topic today, Salix?
Pop culture and magic.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So what is your opinion about how we are represented in pop culture?
Well, it would depend on the subject, but typically it's all wrong. All wrong. Even the nice things they say are wrong. The mean things they say are usually wrong. And the sigils are wrong. The names of the deities are wrong. I actually try to avoid any of it as much as possible. It's like Supernatural, never seen it. Charmed, never seen it. Vampire Diaries, never seen it. I avoid them at all cost. The only one I'm actually okay with is the Dresden Files, which is outlandish, but they got the deities and the sigils right. So the fact that they took that initiative to get that correct made me interested in the show. Naturally, it got canceled after like the first season. Everything I like gets canceled. I'm bad luck.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that just the way when you really like something, you're not sure about the first season, you don't really want to like it because if you like it, then they're going to cancel it.
Yeah, if you like it, it goes away.
Oh my God, that drives me nuts when they do this. And they usually leave it on like a cliffhanger or something, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that just drives me bizarre. Um, but no, I've seen I watched Supernatural. Supernatural is pretty okay. Except for a couple of things. Number one, I don't like the fact that they're hunting witches and they think witches are bad. Um, because we're not all bad. Some of us are very good at being bad. And
That's true.
I don't know, maybe you want a bad witch. Mm, yeah,
Fiona Good was a great one. You can't not love Fiona Good. You just can't.
that's true. That is true, Fiona Good. She was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I didn't like the way they say Samhain. Sam Hain. Like,
That's upsetting. That's so upsetting. I can't stand it.
I was like, you're paying people to do all the research
Mm-hmm.
and they can't get Samhain correct? Really?
Not even close. And I think that falls on not just the editor, but the writer, the script adapter, if it's coming from a book, and the director. Hell, even the actress or the actor. If they get that wrong, they did not do their research.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do your research. It's a lot like when you see something medically wrong in a movie, like one of those hospital shows, how it's all wrong. Like, did no one do any research? I get that we don't watch TV for it to be completely realistic, but like glaring things that you can't ignore that stick out like a sore thumb, like Sam Hain. There needs to be a little more effort there.
You
They
know,
really need to try harder.
yeah, I have a friend of mine, she's a nurse, and she won't even watch medical shows because she says when the people go, they never have the bars up on the side of the beds. She's like, they never pull them up. How do you keep the patient in the bed if the bars ain't up? Really?
Mhm.
And you know, with Samhain, it was like Sam Hain. I was like, oh my God. And the way they make it sound is like, ugh, it cringes.
It is cringy.
You know, I can understand a baby witch saying that, all right. But you know, like back in my day when I was a baby witch, we didn't have the internet. Okay, you didn't have the internet to go and search, and there was very few books in order to be able to learn anything. So the only way you really know how to pronounce Samhain correctly was to be around another witch
Right.
who knew the proper ones. And I remember the first time I ever said Sam Hain, I got my butt chewed over that. Yeah, I got my butt chewed one way about the other. And it's like, okay, tell me how to pronounce it properly. And I've never, you know, mispronounced it since. But on the internet, when you're looking that up, it tells you that it's Gaelic. It tells you how to pronounce it. And it's not like you know, there's no way for you to be able to learn how to pronounce it or anything like that. So that just oh.
What about Hecate?
Hey, Kate.
Hecate.
Oh my
I think of that scene in Practical Magic where they're raising someone from the dead and they're talking to Hecate
yeah.
and they're reading it from an old grimoire and they're saying Hecate and repeating Hecate. It's very cringy.
Yeah, with Hecate, there's two ways of pronouncing her name. One is Hecate, and the other one is Hecate, depending on whether it's Roman or Greek. But Hecate, I've never pronounced her name that way. Never.
And I've never heard it before or since.
Mm, mm. Hecate. Really? Hecate. The thing about Hollywood is Hollywood does do some good things. They get us out there, and people get people to talk about us and stuff like that, which is really, really good. But they get things wrong. It's like the pentacle and the pentagram. They've never been considered to be symbols of evil until the 1990s when Hollywood grabbed it and decided to make it as an evil symbol, you know?
Hmm.
And ever since then, every time it's on, the TV, it's evil. Satan's gonna come and eat you. You know, it's,
Bless them.
oh my gosh, it's like, really? Really? You think that one symbol is going to eat you and you're going to go to hell for that one symbol? And the thing about it is, that symbol stands for the 5 points of Christ. So, you're like, really? You want to go to hell for wearing the 5 points of Christ symbol? Really? Mm-hmm.
Research.
Yeah, research.
Research is needed.
Well, in The Handmaiden, which is on Hulu, I've only seen like the first episode and then I got bored. But they have the what is it? The one of the mother goddess symbols that Oberon created, and they didn't ask his permission for it.
Really?
Yep, yep, he sued them. So I have no idea what the outcome of it was, but that's what he did. And they were kind of using it as a bad type of symbol for a cult. You know, I was one of those. I was like, I didn't really like it because I didn't like the fact that women didn't really have a whole lot of say in the series. You know, I'm one of these type of people. I like to have the woman to be empowered. I like her to be kicking butt and taking names and telling everybody to kiss her behind. I am one of those type of people. Um, having a woman to say, being a slave, no, uh, that doesn't cut it with me at all.
Rightfully so.
Right. Have you watched American Horror Story?
I have seen American Horror Story.
You seen Covenant?
I did see The Coven.
What did you think about that?
I like the fact that it was a place where people from, you know, different walks of life, different talents could all come together and learn. I thought that was really interesting. And I liked at the end of the series how it was widely accepted and it wasn't hidden. And I think if there were a lot more places like that, or any places like that, that would probably help the cause a lot more because it's ignorance that drives hate.
Hmm.
And we're still dealing with a lot of that today. And in more than one situation, ignorance brings the hate.
That's true. I mean, I wish that the way, Hollywood does magic, you snap your fingers, boom, it's done. Or
Oh,
you
that'd be great.
play a spell, and it's done. It's nice and fancy with all the little twinkly lights and everything, and it's done like that. And I wish it was that quick. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
Yeah, and then being able to change people into toads, that would be fun.
I wouldn't mind that ability.
Honey, you would change people into toads for taking your parking space, okay? I know how you are.
That's my parking space.
Then you will run over the toad. I know you. Ladies
I
and
guess that's why that doesn't exist. Specifically to keep me out of trouble.
yeah, well, there's some people I would like to turn into toads too. I'm
Mhm.
there. I'm there. I'm like that. I'm sure everybody has had that particular moment,
And
where
Daisy Dog will help you catch them.
yeah, I mean, okay, like for example with the Worst Witch series, which is on Netflix. Um, I do like that. That's nice. And they actually have a teacher called Hecate on there. Have you seen it?
No, I watched the old movie with young Fairuza Balk in it. I did see that one, Tim Curry, but I haven't seen the series.
No, there's a series. It's about a school of witches for young kids, young girls,
Mhm.
and it's really different. I mean, there's this one little snot on there that I'm sorry, I think she ought to have been kicked out of the school because she has violated all the rules so much, and yet they keep saying it's okay, giving her passes and stuff like that, and it's like the main character, Mildred, I want her just to go up to this girl and just smack her because she's nothing more than a bully. Ethel, that's her name. Ethel. Ethel is nothing more than a bully. And I'm like,
Ethel Hallow?
yeah,
Okay, I remember her from the movie. Yes, she was terrible.
she is
Terrible.
awful. Oh my God. She's even awful to her sister. It's like, really? Like, girl, I would smack you.
Just shove her in a locker and be done with it.
Oh hell, I would turn her into a frog and just leave her in the pond there by the school. Not say a word, just boom, done. I don't know what happened to her. I guess she just went home. Yeah,
Absolutely, just went home. I saw her leave.
got on her little brain suit, and she just went on home, man. That's what you need. Went on home. There you go. Oh lordy, that's too funny.
Hmm.
But you were talking about the Vampire Diaries. I like the Vampire Diaries. I mean, the thing about the Vampire Diaries is either you watch the series or you read the books because the series and the books don't blend. And I really hate it when that happens. God, I hate it when that happens. Because me, I like to read, like if I see the movie, and I really like the movie, I like to read the book if the book exists. Or, vice versa. If I read the book and the movie comes out, I like to be able to, you know, and it's like they're two totally completely different. And so, um, with vampires, which I know you're an expert on vampires or vampire expert over here.
Hmm.
Do they sparkle?
Sometimes. Only in Hollywood. I like to be an expert on all things dark and spooky.
I thought that was so freaking stupid about them sparkle in the sunlight. I thought they burst in flames in the sunlight. I mean,
I did learn something new recently. I was watching some YouTube video. I fell in a YouTube hole. I do that sometimes. And apparently, in the Lost Boys movie, there is a part where at the end, the actors are staking the vampires in a cave. and they're covered in actual glitter. So sparkling vampires came from the Lost Boys, not Twilight. How
And we're
about
not
that?
talking about the Peter Pan Lost Boys people, okay?
I wonder if that's where that came from. When Peter Pan was a vampire. That's why nobody aged. He turned all little boys into vampires. There you go.
Actually, I think I read this a few weeks ago that they were saying that the original backstory behind Peter Pan, and I'm not sure if this is true or not. I think it was just a crop, but they were saying that there was this grown man who made a deal with a demon, and he wanted to be a little boy, and so that's how Peter Pan was born.
I wonder which demon it was.
I don't know. Maybe we have a demon named Alfalfa.
I had to check some of my books to find out.
You let me know, okay?
I'll do that.
Alfalfa the demon. Oh,
I bet he gets bullied.
oh yeah. And then let's see. You told me that Crowley didn't exist.
No, there is no demon named Crowley that I'm aware of. Now, there was a magician named Crowley.
Yeah, yeah. But there was no demon named Crowley. He was cool. I
Was
love.
he?
He was the king of hell. I mean, yeah, he was awesome. A little twit, but yeah, he's a demon. Of course, he's going to be a twit. I mean, come on, really? Oh, oh. But what do you think about the Harry Potter movies? Have you seen them?
I have seen the Harry Potter movies. I think if I haven't seen all of them, I've seen most of them. I feel like a lot of that was pulled from The Worst Witch, the old movie. Even the use of the word muggle. It may have an older history that I don't know about. Um, it's nice that they're all, learning at a school, but they're still villainized by the people that aren't familiar with them, and they bring that into the book. And I will say one thing about that book or the movies that I did like was it talks about like a hard lesson that you learn in life. Even though you do everything right, sometimes things won't turn out the way you want them to. And considering that's for a young audience, I think that's a good thing to learn. But
Yeah.
as far as any substance for learning about the craft, no, absolutely not.
Well, they do have lessons. Like, for example, when Ron Weasley's wand was broken, and every time he cast a spell, it went horribly wrong. I mean, that could try and teach you about your intention. What is your true actual intention? And you need to be absolutely brutally honest with yourself because a lot of us are not. Isn't
That's
that?
true. That makes a difference.
It does. It makes a lot of difference to be able to do that because when it comes to intention is that is your starting point right there is your intention. So from your intention, you decide on how you're going to be able to manifest what you have to manifest. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I do like the Hollywood fancy stuff, and when they went to the fantastical beast and where to find them, the little Niffler. Oh my God, he is adorable. He is. He's my favorite. I love him. I love him. I love him. And they usually come out around my birthday. So when I found out that that the second one had come out and the Niffler was going to have babies, that made my day. The little bitty babies. Oh my God, the Niffler's going.
Which version of the Baby Yoda?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Star Wars child. His name is Grigo. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep. 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 His name is Grigo. I'm like, well, they had Yoda and they had Yaddle. Why couldn't they come up with another Y name?
I don't know. It didn't seem like it'd be that difficult.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to remember Grigo. It sounds like some type of chef celebrity or something like that, you know? You call this little bitty teeny tiny thing this great big old word. Like, really? I mean, he's not even going to get maybe a foot tall, a little bit over a foot tall, if that much, because they're supposed to be very, very small. So, what do you think about Star Wars and the Jedi and the stuff and all that?
I don't know a ton about Star Wars, but I will say in a lot of places that have to do with the occult, it's brought up. So I do see some influence there. They use different terms, but I feel like the good and evil are so staunchly different, and I don't feel like that's a good representation either.
Hmm.
Because there's no such thing as, to me, white magic or black magic. They're they're all the same to me. A lot of it has to do with realizing that just because something's going to work out great for you, it could be devastating for another person, and
Hmm.
vice versa. Something's horrible for you, it could be the best thing to happen to another human being.
Hmm.
Realizing that there's a rift and there's nothing you can do to stop that rift, and that other people will be affected by your actions, I think that's what makes the difference. There is no good and bad.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was one thing I did like about the movie The Craft, where they say that magic is nature, and nature is both. It is. It's both light and dark because that's what it is. Magic is that way. I mean, like we said, it's all in the intention. That's the reason why you got to make sure your intention, you know exactly what you want, you know what the consequences are going to be, whether those consequences are indirect or direct. And you also have to know what the possible outcome is going to be. So you really have to think. And, nature, great, because when we have the sun and the rain, we can be able to grow our crops and have food and other stuff. But then there's times nature gets ticked off, and when she gets ticked off, guess what? We have hurricanes, and we have floods, and we have earthquakes, and we have tornadoes, and all kinds of other things that we don't want. But guess what?
It doesn't matter.
Right, that's just the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be. Um, so that's pretty much when it comes to magic. That's the one thing I really did like about the craft. Because the craft was a big deal. Have you seen?
I have seen the original one, the old one.
Yeah. Yeah, so what were your thoughts about that?
It was definitely interesting. It was very of its time. The 90s just ooze out of it. I love that. Um, it has some good lessons in there. And I thought that was good that, they talked about the difference between light and dark magic, that there really isn't one. It's interesting that there's a lot of heavy karma in that movie. I don't believe in karma, but I'm sure to keep people wrangled so they're good citizens, it's good to keep that in there. It's important to keep young people in a box as far as Hollywood's concerned, and I feel like that's what they do by perpetuating that karma.
Hmm.
So it's like another version of how the Bible puts constraints on people.
Right.
Karma, because in this world, in the Western world, our version of karma is not what karma actually is.
Hmm.
So karma is used as the pagan version of the Ten Commandments. Like, if you do this, this is going to happen to you. And that's just really not so to me. So it perpetuates the restraints there.
Yeah, it does. And I was like, why? Where did they get that word "mano"? Like, have you ever heard of any god referred to as that? I haven't.
No.
Like Mano. I mean, where did you come up with that word. Did you look like at a manhole and you couldn't pronounce manhole, so you said manhole? You know,
Yeah, I have never heard of that particular deity. I think they just created that one out of thin air. From my understanding, Firuza Balk actually did practice around the time of that movie, and she is now an artist and she creates sigils now. So she took her stardom in a different direction.
nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they had the chanting, which is okay, but
Mhm.
then they had the little balance. Of course, she took manhole into her, and I'm like, really, really, and that's kind of a version of drawing down the moon. You know, it's obviously evil. It's gotta be evil. And of course, the girl goes absolutely nuts, throughout that whole thing. But I mean, for it during its time, it wasn't really all that bad. At least not in my opinion. Yeah, it did a couple of bit of damage, of course, but all Hollywood's going to do that. Because it's Hollywood. And the thing about Hollywood you need to understand is it's entertainment.
And it was entertaining. That was an entertaining movie to watch. I think that started things for a lot of people, and it's nice that it's coming, less than a decade off from the Satanic Panic.
Hmm.
I think that's great. The altars were interesting. The prayer room was really interesting that the shopkeeper had,
Yeah.
and I like that they kept a lot of the herbs in there, and you did see repercussions, not just from karma, but social repercussions, because if you living out loud is not easy,
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form when it comes to anything that's not seen as mainstream or common. Living out loud can be a terrifying thing to experience. And you could see that in the movie, and I felt like that was very real. Anyone who's out of the broom closet or out of any closet for that matter, you have a whole different set of things to overcome.
That's true. And the thing about it is it's not something that you overcome once and then and it's done. No, it's not like that. It's a constant overcoming of things. And and being a teenager, you want people to like you. When you're a teenager, you want to be able to fit in because you want to find your identity. That is the time to find your identity. And I remember wanting to fit in, but knowing I didn't. And it made it seem like it was okay, not to fit in.
I think that's harder for a teenager to learn because it's okay not to fit in.
Yeah.
You don't have to. The world would be boring if we were all the same.
Yep. I just dropped my stone.
Uh-oh.
A wonderful stone that I'll do my witch cabinet later. Okay, I'll just leave it on the floor. There we go. Okay. Yeah, they came out with the second one, called the Next Generation, and that's on Hulu, I believe. It may also be on Amazon Prime. Um, that wasn't really that bad either. Um, it pointed out more of the Wiccan ways. It was basically about a child who was a child of one of the original four. She was the one that the one that went crazy. This was her daughter. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah, and it was pretty interesting. The one thing I really don't like in a lot of these series, especially with the second craft and charm. Charm really gets on my nerves about this. You have to separate your magical life from your Mandoon life.
There's no way that works.
I'm like, honey, you are a magical person, okay? There's no such thing as the mundane at all when it comes to you. Okay? There's no such thing. It doesn't matter what it is. There's no such thing. So trying to separate it, all that does is that creates anxiety, worry, and also lack of self confidence.
I think that's right. I think that's very true because no matter what you do, if you are practicing, if you are a magical person, strange things are going to happen to you. And occasionally people will notice if they're watching close enough. And that's unavoidable
Mm,
because things happen that you don't even realize are in the works all the time.
yeah,
And when you try to stifle that, in a sense, you're limiting yourself. There's some
mm,
more of those constraints.
right, right. It's just like with Harry Potter when he was a kid before he even knew about Hogwarts. He went to the zoo and he set the snake on his cousin, which, by the way, the cousin deserved. Um, sorry, that cousin, God, geez, really?
He had it coming, huh?
Heck yeah, he had it coming. Yeah, he did. Um, but yeah, I mean, the kid was didn't even know what he was doing, and he was able to do it like that. So, and I think that causes a lot of anxiety and a lot of witches, especially if you're baby witches. Uh,
Mhm.
because baby witches are trying to find their way in the craft, and it's already hard enough to find your way with that when you're sitting here and you're like, oh, we gotta separate the mundane from the magical. I'm like, I want to smack that person.
They just keep pushing. You need to fit in. The whole world's going to collapse if you don't fit in with everybody else. And I wish they wouldn't do that in movies.
you know, the thing about it is there's no such thing as normal. I mean, your idea of normal would be different from my idea of normal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I have friends have told me that, hey, I like hanging out with you because things happen. I'm like, things happen? They're like, yeah, things happen. And to me that's normal, you know? It's no big deal. I'm so used to it. It's just like when you have spirits to come and they talk to you and everything. That's a normal thing for me. For you, that may not be a normal thing for you. I had a friend who's in the craft and she can't talk to spirits. She has absolutely no clue. I'm like, aren't you listening to them? Well, I can't hear them or I can't see them. So I mean, that's not her normal. That is my normal for me. And anyway, trying to fit in really you from finding your authentic self is what it does. Because you're trying to fit into somebody else's mold. And,
Absolutely. That's
and
true.
yeah, and you're not going to fit into it. There's just no way you're going to fit in 100%. It's just like, you and me, we're good friends. You're my students, but we don't agree on everything, and we're not going to agree on everything. We agree on a good bit of things, but you have a different viewpoint versus what I have a different viewpoint. We talk about that a lot.
Mhm. And I
So
think it's important that people are their authentic selves and resist as much as society pushes you to fit in. It's important to resist that because you will never discover who you are while you're trying to be someone else.
yeah, don't be a board.
True.
Resist, resist, resist. Become your authentic self. Screw the board.
That's right.
All right, so we need to go to our commercial. So, Mr. Salix, what is our commercial?
Our commercial is, let's see, we're going to have our song for the week. Each week, Nikki selects a song from a pagan musician or band and displays their music video or song. We're proud to introduce a song by a musician who's been on our show before. Due to explicit language, we do issue a parental advisement from the album Misconceptions. This song is entitled Do Your Research by Cloud the Pagan Rapper.
To be a witch is to seek knowledge about yourself, about your craft, and about the world. Incorporate those into your daily life. And that's how you make things happen. Yeah. Let them know, Cloud. Know yourself and know your craft. Don't just be happy with where you're at. In the craft of the wise, there's a lot to learn. You want to be a better witch, so you better do your research. Know yourself and know your craft. Don't just be happy with where you're at. In the craft of the wise, there's a lot to learn. You want to be a better witch, so you better do your research. I'm just saying, yo, I'm not an elitist. I'm a realist motherfucker, I'ma call it like I see it. Baby bitch claiming that you know the craft. If you only read a book, watch some YouTube, dye your hair black. Let me tell you, rookie, there's what to the craft. I'm just rocking a pentacle and a pretty little witch hat. Please don't run around acting like an expert. You want the craft to work for you, you better do your research. Sorry, not sorry, but you heard me right. If you really wanna live a magical life, just know that there's a lot of practice and study involved to be a seeker of knowledge and get your mystery solved. Broaden your horizons, find what works for you, because your craft is your own no matter what you do. Get your hands in whatever river you can. Take it all in, baby, yellow, forge your own path. Remember, Wicca is the religion. Witchcraft is a practice. That's important. It's up to you to decide what you feel that the facts is. I'm not knocking the traditional practice, but the craft has evolved into so many branches. It's easy for a young witch to get confused, so it's best to find out what works for you. Remember that it's your own personal path, so I suggest you put in the work. There ain't no fucking fast track. Know yourself and know your craft. Don't just be happy with where you're at. In the craft of the wise, there's so much to learn. You want to be a better witch, or you better do your research. Know yourself and know your craft. Don't just be happy with where you're at. In the craft of the wise, there's so much to learn. You want to be a better witch, or you better do your research. Incorporate what you learn, yo, and put in the work. If you're living in your daily life, you'll see the magic work. Connect with the world, feel the goddess's grace. Remember, it's a marathon and not a rat race. Alright, let me check my ego a bit. I've been pagan 20 years and I don't know shit. That's because it's impossible to know just what the gods' mysteries have in store for us, bro. Back on that. Yeah. It's not just about reading books or crystals. It's about living the life. Yeah. Let them know, Cloud. Know yourself and know your craft. Yeah. Know yourself and know your craft. Do your research. Happy hunting, everybody. You go out there, you find what works for you. Yeah.
When you start your day, do you feel energized and ready to embrace the day? Or do you not want to get out of bed, dreading the day ahead? Do you feel like you were born to do something more? Discover your life's passion and purpose at the Laughing Soul Holistic Center. Our 3-month coaching program, The Soulful Life, is designed to discover who you are at your core. Free yourself from the cage you allow others to place you. Create and establish a strong spiritual foundation. Discover your life's passion and purpose and align yourself with spirit as you emerge into your authentic self. So visit us at www.thelaughingsoulholisticcenter.com and discover how to live the soulful life. Have questions about witchcraft, goddess, God, authentic self, or paganism in general? At the Ever-Moving We Rise Temple, we welcome all those questions and so much more. There is no judgment here, as we realize everyone's path is uniquely personal. We are all about emerging the authentic self as we walk in alignment with spirit. We recognize our temple as a living, breathing organism, and as such, you are welcome to join us as we celebrate the Sabbath, Xbox, Goddess God, and our authentic selves in our monthly rituals, events, and classes. Visit us at our website or Facebook page and discover what magically distinguishes us from the crowd. The holidays are among us, and you know what that means. We travel and give out witchy things. Where can we find witchy items designed to enhance your magical passion? At Moonlight Potions and Charms, our products are designed to help you embrace the power of your own magic. Now available for customization, the Altar on the Go contains everything you need to set up your magical altar, even in the smallest of spaces. Need prosperity in life? Our prosperity voodoo doll kit is just right. Our familiar cats are looking for magical people to take them home. And check out our sections honoring the voodoo queen, Madame Marie Laveau, Santa Muerte, and the ancestors, as well as a candle for virtually every spell. So our divination kits are great for your divination needs. And there is so much more in our Wicked store to help you embrace the power of your own magic. So come on in to Moonlight Potions and Charms at www.moonlightpotionscharms.com and discover the wicked things that ignite the magical passion in you. All right, welcome back to Witch Hat Chats. And we are talking about pop culture and magic. Woo! Pop culture and magic. Woo! Oh, Lordy. Ah, well, you know what? The one thing I do like is the Adams family. I'm sure you've seen the Adams family.
All of them. I do like the Adams family. The grandmother is awesome.
She is. And the thing about the Adams family, it teaches you to be yourself. You know, it teaches you not to give a crap about what other people, kind of think about you. If you're going to be odd to them, then that's their problem, not yours.
Definitely. I think that the Adams family, even the Munsters, it was really interesting how they'll go through their own lives and they realize that they're different from other people, but they're not usually bullied by that at all. That's
Hmm.
not something that usually happens to them. And I like that takeaway because that's not always going to be your situation.
Well, it also depends on your mindset and how you deal with it. If I can remember being a baby witch, and I can remember being so hateful with the mainstream religions and everything, and I would do everything I could to try to get people to accept me for who I am and stuff like that. And then I got to where I just kind of realized um, that it really doesn't matter what they think. I'm comfortable with being who I am, and that's good enough for me.
I agree with that. Life is very short. You never know how long you have. And if you waste your energy trying to fit somebody else's mold, you're going to miss the point.
Hmm.
You'll miss being yourself. And that's important. In my opinion, that's the only way to have a good life is to be yourself and not focus so much on the things that don't matter, like being accepted.
Oh yeah, I see. In that last, I think it was an animation of the Adams family when they brought in the when Wednesday brought in the um, red balloon, and Morticia says, "Well, there's usually a killer clown attached to this." I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Wednesday is epic. Everybody loves Wednesday.
She is. I mean, she is so funny, and it's like it's no big deal. I really love that character being that. And it's like she's told people, "Oh, I'm not stuck here with you. You're stuck here with me. You know?
Just that simple shift in mindset just makes a world of a difference.
Right. Does, and I really do like that type of mindset, you know, because nothing ever upsets her. You don't see her get upset at all. And it doesn't matter what occurs, she doesn't get upset about it. Um, she's funny. It's just like with the frog, she brought the frog back to life. Um, that was fun. I love that. I'm like, oh, I wish that happened in my biology class. That would have been awesome.
Poor frog. Fixed it.
Yep, brought it back to life. Brought them all back to life, and they all attacked the bully. That was fun. Oh yeah, you gotta have people to kind of stand up for themselves and everything like that too. Mm-mm-mm.
Definitely be brave. Life doesn't last long.
No, it doesn't. And once you understand that and you get that mindset, things are so much better for you. You won't have to worry whether your life is magical or mundane. Really? We're on that crap again?
Why is it so important for Hollywood to make sure that that's separated? I mean, really, why does that always have to be separated in movies?
To me, it's like telling them that being magical is a bad thing. When you say you have to separate the mundane from the magical, it's like saying that you have to kill that magical portion of yourself in order to be accepted into the main crowd. I mean, is that what you think?
I think that could be. I think that goes along with the constraints I was talking about. I would like to see more where there's less of that,
Mm-hmm.
where there's less you have to hide. Because eventually it all starts to sound the same. You know,
Right.
when you're watching a show, half of it's interesting and the other half's boring.
Well, I do like the Good Witch. Um, Absolutely love Catherine Bell's character, Cassie Nightingale. Nobody ever says she comes out to be a witch. Nobody ever says that. Um, she don't say, well, you have to separate the magical from the mundane. There is no mundane when it comes to her. Everything is magical, and that's the way it should be. And she doesn't go out and say all of these, big Latin words and all that other stuff. You never see her cast a spell. You never see that. She like simply gives you something, or she simply knows something about you just by looking at you, which is the way it actually is. It's actually the closest thing that I have seen that we have to what being a real witch is like.
Hmm.
And I think things need to really be more like that. I mean, okay, I like the cauldrons and I like the little flash, flash, bam, bam, boom, boom. People drop dead if you have them to drop dead, or you get $1 billion, whatever the spell is. I like that. That's nice. It's entertaining. It's fun. Wonderful to laugh at. But if you want something that's a little bit more realistic, magic, unless you know what to look for, you never really see it.
That's true. That's a very good way to put that. If you don't know what you're looking for, you don't see it.
Right. It's just like I know I've cast spells and until it actually dawns on me, I never really think, well, wait a minute, that's well see, I don't separate the man doom from mundane. But even when I did, I never saw the magic coming true until it dawned on me. Because the thing about it is I was taught you cast a spell, you forget it. Because the more you start to think about it, you're going to start undoing that spell because you're going to start worrying. Okay, did I do this right? Was it during the, the special nights of the moon? Which, by the way, if you need a spell and you need it now, don't wait until the next full moon or till the start moon, the time that Satan is supposed to rise or whatever the spell calls for. Don't wait for that crap, okay? Because you need it now. You don't need it then. You need it now. So do it now. This is when your magic is powerful. This is when it actually works. Do it now. Don't sit here and wait. Oh, well, it's Saturday. So I got a spell for a read that I want to make sure that's good. So I'll wait till Tuesday to cast it. Don't do it now. Do it now.
That makes me think of Byron. Could you imagine Byron doing her parking spells like a month in advance?
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah. Or go to Morrison and totally, parking spells, or she's even got a time freeze spell, or whatever the spell when we do field magic. Yeah, I can sit here and see Barnum. Well, the moon ain't full yet, so I gotta wait until 2 more days until the moon is full and it's supposed at 9 o'clock. But you know what? The problem with that is the store ain't going to be open. Yeah, Barnum's going to say the hell with that. I love Byron.
Byron's awesome.
Byron's awesome. She is. She is awesome, and she's so down to earth as well. And that's another thing about the Good Witch is Cassie Nightingale. She is so down to earth, and um, she's just a really good person. She's not one of these flamboyant people who they have to have the spotlight every time they walk in to the room. Like, really, those people kind of get on my nerves because I'm like, okay, now that the spotlight's on you, what are you going to do with it? You just want me to see your outfit? Really?
That's another thing with a lot of the movies. They'll get all these people together and they won't do anything with it. They won't do anything positive. They'll just bring all these people together. They'll change their own lives, but they don't see the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do anything to better society or the world around them. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
And then you got the horror stories, like the Blair Witch. You remember that movie?
I do remember that movie. I remember all the hype. It was all fiction. And I remember how upset I was when I saw Heather Donahue on like what show was she? She was on some late night talk show. And I'm like, wait a minute. Because I thought it was real. And I was so disappointed to find out it wasn't.
And then they had a part 2.
That was horrendous. I hated part 2. I hated it. It was horrible. It was terribly written. I couldn't stand the witch they had in that movie.
They had a witch in the movie. I fell asleep.
I was so upset with that movie. That movie is horrible. It was a terrible movie. And it didn't make sense.
Well, the first one kind of got on my nerves because, we're going through their camera point of view. And of course, their horrible camera, because it's one of the old-fashioned, what do they call it? Old-fashioned, camera recorders. There's big things that young and you go like this and you saw it figured and everything. And then suddenly somebody was gone and you're like, where's he at? And then, the whole camera's looking everywhere and all you see is black. It's like, okay, do you guys not have flashlights? Really? And that's one thing about vampires. Okay, I'm going to get to this. Vampires. Why do they need flashlights? Can't they see in the dark?
I thought so. That's a good point. Imposter, why do you need a flashlight?
I mean, I thought you're supposed to be able to see in the dark. You're a creature of the night, and according to legend, you see in the dark. So why would you need a flashlight? That used to drive me nuts. I would watch the Vampire Diaries, and you had the two vampires, which is Stefan and Damien, who's I'm sorry, he's just um, and they would have flashlights, and I'm like, you're vampires. Why do you need a flashlight? It's just like when you go into zombie movies, okay, and the zombie is riding a motorcycle. I thought zombies are supposed to be stupid. Okay, they ride a motorcycle and they have a helmet on. What are they protecting?
That's a very good point. I don't know. Hollywood failed again. They shouldn't need a helmet, and vampires shouldn't need a flashlight.
Right. Like, really? Really? I'm like, okay, they need a flashlight. Why they need a flash? And that ends up driving me, really, really nuts and insane. That's one of the few things I have about vampires, other than they glitter. in the
Glitter. All the way back to the Lost Boys. They glitter.
The thing about it is, when I first saw Twilight and he stepped out in the sunlight, see, I didn't wear my glasses and I didn't have my contacts in. So I didn't see what the sparkle was. And then she's like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." I'm like, "He looks the same."
You didn't get it. I've never seen Twilight, but I've heard so much about it.
If you want something kind of funny to laugh at, yeah, watch Twilight. It's funny, especially where he steps out into the sun and it's this grand entrance of stepping out to the sun. He takes his shirt off and everything, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful," and I'm like, "He looks the same." Like, what? Really? Oh. Yeah, and then we have the Witches of Eastwick. You ever seen that movie? And they had a TV series too for a while there.
I've never seen the TV series, but I did see the movie. I love Jack Nicholson. He was great, except for the end. The end got real weird, where he was this little creature that
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. But the rest of the movie I really liked. It it didn't seem like hiding who they were was as important in that movie. Tons of karma, naturally, but everything was different for them. He used their fears against them, and I thought that was an interesting take.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, witches are supposed to be fearless.
Hmm.
We are supposed to take fear by the horns and confront it, because all fear is a lack of knowledge. That's it. It's not something that's just grand, magical thing. Oh, and we gotta be mundane in order to understand it. Really?
Sure. And if you are hiding, anyone who knows you can use that against you. And that's a place of fear for a lot of people that are still hiding who they are.
Yeah. And
So, in that sense, he was their fear. His knowledge was their fear.
yeah, yeah. And the thing about it is, you know, being a witch is more acceptable today than it was when I first started. And I know we've come a long way since then. I can see that. I mean, let's put it to you this way. When I first started, I would never be, and we had all this technology. Let's say we had all this technology when I first started. I wouldn't be on it. Oh no. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. because people would come after me. Not only would they come after me, they would come after my family and my friends. And so I wouldn't do that. So I understand why, witches, there's some witches that are still in the closet because when people say, oh, that doesn't happen anymore, that's a crock of crap because it does.
Absolutely. Horrible things still happen to people when they live out loud.
Hmm. But that doesn't mean that you should be living in fear either. The thing about it is, terrorists, you want to know why terrorists would win? It's because of fear. They use fear as a weapon. So they want you to stop doing what you're doing. And the thing about it is, we don't negotiate with terrorists. Okay,
Mhm.
so when it comes to fear, face it, face it head on. And if you're meant to lose that, that one thing, like for example, you meant to lose like a relative you really want to be with, or a friend you've been supposedly a friend for a long time, go ahead and let it go. And you'll be a lot better off because if they really truly like you for who you are, they will stay around. And if they don't, they will leave and you don't need that negativity in your life.
Absolutely not. I hope that this momentum of acceptance that we're having for several different issues, I hope that keeps going forward. And I hope people learn to be more accepting of each other, celebrate the differences, no matter what they are, and stop alienating people just because they're not like you.
Hmm. Yep. And that's just some of the things. And some of these shows, they actually kind of go by that. A couple ways. And I really do like it when they do that. Not to be afraid of this. And then you've got other ones like, oh my God, Charmed. I kind of liked Charm in a way. I do like Charm. Okay. Um, I didn't like the man Dune and the magical thing really got on my nerves. Sorry, just did. Um, but here's the thing about Hollywood is that was a way of introducing the craft to many people. Because you're brought up. At least I was in the South, being in a Bible Belt um, type of situation. Basically, you're taught that witchcraft is evil and it's Satan, and you're going to be selling your soul to the devil, and then you're going to be, doing some things with the devil you're not supposed to be doing. Okay. And then you're going to be dancing around a fire, and you're going to sell your soul to the devil, and that's where you're going to get all these little magical powers and all this other damn crap. Okay. That's what I was raised.
You can if you want to. It's going to be confusing for a lot of folks, but I mean, hey, you do you.
Sorry, I'm sorry. The devil is my ex-husband. I got rid of him. No longer around me. And the thing is, people believe it's like, oh my God, seriously. And see, and when you take it with the sense of humor, when somebody comes up to you and they say, "Oh, Salex, I heard that you're a witch. Don't you sell your soul to the devil?" Instead of getting offended by it, just just smile and do your best not to laugh. Okay, because it's really funny, like I do. I sit there and like, and answer it like that. Okay, and people will take it a little bit better because sometimes people will do what they can to try to push your button. Sorry, that's just the way people are.
Yes, they are. They are very much like that. Not so much now that I'm older, but now people that are around me every day, who don't know or do know, they're just used to weird crap happening all the time. They're just used to that. They're like, yeah, what?
Yeah, and to them it's weird, but to you it's normal.
Mm-hmm. And I think me being at ease when strange things happen, it reverberates to the people around me. Because if I'm not panicked or worried, then they're not panicked or worried.
Yeah. Yeah, and really that's the way it should be. You know, because the thing about it is you want people to ask questions, um, because that's the only way they're going to learn. Because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to go do the research.
No, they're gonna ask me, and
Yeah,
I'm here to educate.
yeah, and that's an education opportunity. Make a friend out of them. Don't sit here and think that they're the worst person because they think a pentagram means that you're going to be selling your soul to the devil. You know, uh, or that you're in what is it called? The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
I love that I have representation on that show, but I am not on that show.
Yeah, you got this little good girl witch. Oh, okay. I like it better, like this version better than the original, The Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I like them a lot better than that because that was a little bit too goody two shoes. I mean, you got Disney, and Disney's going to make it goody two shoes really, really bad, you know, to the point where you go, you know.
True.
Oh, but I really do like it to a certain degree on that. Uh,
Mhm.
I liked it better when they got rid of the Satanism and said, "Hey, let's worship the Lady Mother Throne." I really did like that portion. And now this is going to be upcoming. It's coming up in the last week of December, and it's going to be the last season of Sabrina the Satan teenage. I don't know my name. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to be doing it anyway. Which
You liked it, so now it's going to get canceled.
I know it's the cancellation curse.
It is.
God, it's the cancellation curse.
Have you seen Hereditary?
No, I have not.
In Hereditary, there is a woman who is pretty much cleaning up her mother's estate. Her mother has passed away, and her mother worshipped Lord Paimon. Now, Paimon is one of the demons from the 72 spirits of Solomon.
Okay.
When they used the sigil for Lord Paimon, they altered it a little bit so it wouldn't be the actual sigil. And eventually throughout the show, it's really gory and really dark and culty and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Her son is eventually possessed by Lord Paimon. And I thought it was interesting that they took the initiative. Yes, they're using an actual spirit, but they did alter the sigil so it wouldn't be accurate.
Hmm.
And of course, the cultists had to hide who they are, and a lot of the same tropes you see from the others. But I thought that initiative was interesting. But anyone could just Google that and find it out, I would think.
Well, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of people that actually are going to Google that.
I hope not. 'Cause that movie made it really terrible. Someone cut off their own head in that movie. It was awesome.
Well, there goes to show you that people can get over their magic. I mean, come on, people. All right, so we are going to go to the witch's cabinet now. So that's the end of our topic. And so let's go to the witch's cabinet. Yay! Look at the witch's cabinet. Yay. All right, so in this week's witch's cabinet, we are going to be discussing gemstones and magic. Yay! As part of the Earth, stones have been around approximately for 4.5 billion years. But, humans have only been on Earth for approximately 200,000 years. And since that time, humans have looked at the elements to assist them in their magical manifestations. So, gemstones play a role in all religions and are used for healing in many different cultures. So, although there is no way to know exactly when magical people started using stones, we always have been fascinated by them. And stones were always used as amulets, talismans, and other forms of jewelry. So, the oldest amulets are Baltic amber and can be traced back 300,000 years. The ancient Sumerians were the first to be historically recorded to use crystals in their magical formulas. And ancient Egyptians used gems in their jewelry for their protection, health, and funeral rites. And some gems, like malachite, were ground up and used for eye makeup. So many of the gems' names have Greek origins. And for example, the word crystal comes from the Greek word ice, as it was believed that the clear quartz was water that had simply frozen so deep and it would always remain solid. Now, amethyst means, and I quote, not drunken, and was worn to prevent drunk and hangovers. But due to the coloration when it was oxidized, the word hemonite comes from the Greek word for blood, and it was associated with Aries. So before men would go into battle, they would rub hemonite all over their bodies to make sure themselves were invulnerable, which is kind of weird because this is a very, very soft stone. I mean, you can break it very, very easily. But the thing about it is, like, for example, I can't get it off my finger now because it's attached to me. Anyway, this stone, it states that when it is broken, it's done its purpose. So I've been able to wear these stones for like 5, 10, even 15 years, you know, for a very long time. And then there's times in which it breaks, and this has actually happened. One of them actually broke, and then I went downstairs to get another one, and I put it on, put the new one on, and it broke too. So I was like, well, darn. These things break too easily, but they don't really break easily. They just, kind of serve their purpose. So, magical people use stones in a variety of forms in their magic, including healing and manifestation. So, we don't eat the stones, just to let those who think, well, maybe you eat stones. No, we don't eat stones. Okay. We use their energy in assisting us to accomplish our magical task. So we use them in a variety of spells, including mojo bags, wands, pendulums, and jewelry, and they make great Yule gifts. So although this is the most wonderful time of the year, many people have a hard time dealing with the holiday season. So to help, I have 3 stones of optimism that I'm going to tell you about so you can be able to help others and maybe yourself get through the holidays. So, this stone is nicknamed the Hope Stone. And Amazite places a positive spin on life, but does not dwell in it blindly. It calls upon spirit of the inner strength, magnifies intention, and commits to the quote, there's a way attitude. It is a soulful gemstone used as a talisman of hope and truth, and it is said to bring good fortune, luck, and courage. So, according to the legend, this stone was used as a shield for Amazon warrior princesses, and it's connected to the heart and throat chakras. So, ammonite helps one to find one's voice, install and maintain boundaries and empowerment. It helps one to step out of the shadows into the light to emerge one's authentic self. And ammonite helps heal physical illnesses like thyroid problems, calcium deficiency, it treats fatigue, and it regenerates healthy cells. It's also used to help soothe anxiety, worry, kills self destruction, self neglect. It helps one to think about oneself first. Something that, especially when it comes to females, we're not taught to do. We're taught to help everybody else first and then us. No. If we don't help ourselves first, we cannot help others. So it connects to the feminine and it assists to get through and to heal past traumas and to break down problems so they can be manageable tasks. And ammonite helps to obtain and maintain balance as it aligns oneself with spirit. So with this green, this is a fairly large stone that I've got. They do make them, a little bit smaller. But with this green stone, it's really nice. I really truly love this stone. So that is ammonite. Now, tiger's eye, which is what I'm also wearing as well. It draws its energy from the sun. Now, there are different types of tiger's eye, but we're going to talk about the golden or the brown tiger's eye, which keeps you grounded and centered as it draws spiritual energy to you. It brings optimism, positivity, brightness, and light into any situation. And it is known for its protective properties, especially for travelers. The golden tiger's eye is great for good luck and prosperity as it helps you to manifest your dreams and bring them into reality. And it's used as talismans against bad luck and curses. So it can help you to find courage, especially in times of change, and it increases your personal power. So it keeps you focused, concentrated, and controlled. So the golden tiger's eye enhances your psychic abilities and it can help you with spiritual grounding. So one thing is that if you have problems grounding, this is a absolute marvelous stone to be able to do that, especially if you've just got finished doing a ritual or manifesting some form of cone of power. But physically, the golden tiger's eye helps you with the endocrine system and it provides strength and vitality as it balances disorders of the reproduction system and aids in healing bones and eyes. This is a great stone to banish depression, remove negative, damaging habits, including any form of self harm and destruction. It helps stabilizes mood swings and promotes mental clarity and dispels fear and anxiety. So, like I said, there are different types of tiger's eye, but this one is the golden or the brown tiger's eye. And that is pretty much what it looks like right there. Now, this is a new stone that I just got on Wednesday, and I've been showing everybody because it is a very, very pretty stone. And it looks like a man-made stone, but it's not. It's the Mexican fire opal, and it is a stone of luck, creativity, abundance, and passion. It is a stone that increases your psychic abilities and enhances your intuition so that you can make better decisions by trusting your own instincts. It is known for bringing zest and spicing up your life. It helps you to increase self-confidence and brings you out of your shell. It is a great stone to spice up and bring passion, especially into your love life. And this is a wonderful stone to communicate with the fire spirits. The Mexican fire opal helps you to maintain independence, finding balance, and becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. It can help you to seek new direction in your life as it helps you to keep calm and collected as you set and reach your goals. So placing a Mexican fire opal in the cash register or at the front door for success in new business ventures. The Mexican fire opal can aid in blood disorders, healing kidneys, fertility problems, and lower back. It can be beneficial with colds and flus as it enhances the formation of new blood cells in the bone marrow and calcium absorption. It can help boost memory and fight off infections. It can also help you to deal and overcome abusive traumas by assisting you to heal from the bad experiences and release bad memories. It promotes sexuality and loving passion relationships. And it will dispel any negativity from your environment as it provides physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual healing. It will encourage you to be accountable for your feelings. And for anyone who's lost their way, the Mexican fire opal will help you to restore your spiritual energy, and it can help you strengthen and cleanse your aura. And so, in order for it to last, Mexican fire opal is actually a very soft stone, so it does need special care. Because the stone is made of 20% water, you will need to soak your stone in water for several hours from time to time. And I just got finished soaking mine, so I just picked it out this morning. And as I was drying it, it felt kind of rough, so I was polishing it as I was drying it. And the great thing about it is, it's what I've been using most of the day. It looks very beautiful. As a matter of fact, it looks really glassy and everything. I absolutely love it. It is going to be the official stone of Ever Moving We Rise. And it's just an absolute wonderful type of stone. So, those are three different types of stones that can try to help you get through the holiday season. And that will be all for the Witches Cabinet. So, let us know what topics you would like to know more about on our Facebook page. Yeah. All right. So, how was that,
That
Salex?
was awesome. That was awesome. I learned a lot from that. I need to get one of those fire opals.
Yeah. I mean, they're expensive. Okay. Like I said, was $39, and I got it up at Lake Lore, and this was the smallest one that they had. Um, but I asked if they had any other ones, and they had said, yeah, it's on a pendant, a charm. It's a charm. I'm like, okay, how much is the charms? $118. I'm like, I think I'm going to stick with this to make it prettier. Okay, it looks really prettier, and I kind of like the fact that it's shaped in an egg. I mean, they're probably all not going to be shaped in eggs, I would imagine, but this, because it represents eggs, represent new birth to ideas.
Mhm.
And to me, the whatever it means, everything that it means with the optimism and taking control of your life and so forth. And that is just a perfect shape, don't you think that is?
I think so. That is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. All right, so that is going to be all for this week's Witch Hat Chats. That went kind of quick. So join me next week when I will be presenting our Yule edition. Got a lot of great things for you for our Yule edition. Thank you so much, Salix, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It was awesome. So wear a mask, maintain 6 feet distance from each other. Do not social distance. We're not going to say you're going to social distance, because that means that you want to be um, isolated. We don't want to be isolated. We want to be able to get back together. So we're just going to say we're going to maintain distance from one another. And keep your fuzzy babies, your friends, and yourself safe. So have a good one.
You too.